Yale Law School and Yale Law School management professor Natasha Sarin. She's a former Treasury Department official and American Enterprise Institute's Alex Brill. He's a former policy director and chief economist to the White House to the House and Ways and Means Committee. Good morning to both of you. I want to actually start with Alex for a second. It seems to me, and maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, you think the approach the IRS is taking is going to create problems. And I'm sort of not understanding why we shouldn't be trying to look for more of this money.
No, that's not exactly my view. I absolutely do believe in addressing the tax gap. It's hundreds of billions of dollars per year. I think putting more dollars efficiently and effectively into the IRS to try to make sure that people are paying what they owe is a good idea. What I don't really like is the gotcha part of the agenda. It feels a little bit political that we're going after these guys, these bad guys, these guys on jets. Look, if the guys who fly on jets aren't paying what they owe, they should pay what they owe, and the IRS should audit them and enforce the law. No question there. But the concern that I have is whether we're trying to say the tax code is better if we squeeze more out of this group of people, and we should leave this other group of people alone. The truth is there's problems with the tax gap across the board. Businesses, partnerships, sure. Guys who fly jets, perhaps. But elsewhere as well. Small business owners as well.
Alex,
and the politics of talking about small business owners is just hard.
And then I want to go to Natasha. And the thing I don't understand about this is, A, you go towards where the money is. B, we just discussed, it's very hard for people to do shenanigans with their W-2 income. But once you get into the LLC world and some of the other worlds, it's all a self-reporting system. And that's where the problems lie. So shouldn't you be going and looking there first? And it sounds to me like you're saying, go look at the small businesses first over the big money. Why would you do that? And by the way, I'm not suggesting we shouldn't be looking at all of the money across the board. But speak to it.
My point is that we should focus on the money. We shouldn't focus on the characteristics of the individuals. If wherever the evidence leads us, that's where it should go. It shouldn't be about getting the bad guys because they look like they're bad guys. It should be about getting the money wherever the money may be.
And Natasha, if you look at right now this fairness in the tax system, the top 1% pay 46% of the federal income taxes. If you look at the audit rate, which has been a big focus for the IRS, the top is audited at 10 times the rate as middle and most of America. What unfairness is there, do you think, to address here, given these disparities where the wealthy are already the biggest taxpayers and the most audited?
Yeah, I just want to take some issue with what Alex was saying, which is the IRS is following the money. And here we are in a two-tiered tax system in the country where, as you guys have already been discussing, wage and salary earners are fully compliant with their tax obligations. Their taxes are automatically withheld. The top 1% is responsible for a disproportionate share of the tax gap. They're responsible for about 30% of the tax gap annually. That's about $150, closer to $200 billion a year. And so what the IRS is doing here is it is prioritizing its new resources in exactly the areas that it needs to, where it's lost the most capacity historically. Audit rates for millionaires are down 80% in the last decade. That's something the agency needs to fix.
Alex?
I agree that high-income people pay most of the tax. It makes sense that they would be audited more. They are audited more. They were audited more in the past. The question is looking forward, where should we be allocating resources? And I would say
where do you think
the focus should be on allocating them efficiently, not allocating them necessarily to billionaires.
Let's just suggest for a second I'm putting you in charge of the IRS. And the mandate, but here's the mandate, Alex. The mandate is to try to, I would even use the word recover or collect what is legally obligated to be paid. You have only so many resources, and your job is to collect as much money as legally obligated to be paid. How would you go about structuring audits or anything else?
So I think it's a science-based approach. I think the idea is to think whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's machine learning, whatever the techniques are to find efficiently the dollars that can be collected that are owed. We want to collect those dollars. We want to put resources into making sure people pay the taxes they owe. The only concern I have is that when you say that this is also making the tax code better because we're sticking it to the billionaires, that's the problem. The billionaires need to pay what they owe, absolutely. So does everyone else. That's all I'm saying.